Funny when the play sets are done right, the children want to play, don't they, hey? Go, Thomas, go! How's the build going along there?
Good.
We're playing, I don't think we're building at the moment. Okay, go, Thomas, go! Whoa, look at the speed! Look at the speed! Oh! There we go. Oh. Wake up. No, it's not working for me. Themed packs. I've got a sneaky suspicion maybe that's what we'd like to see come back. Remember those? They were excellent. Hello there. This is another little trip back in time. A very curious video, this one. That's Thomas Take and Play Spills and Thrills on Sodor. I actually purchased 2 of these sets and I'll explain in this video why. Well, Thomas, I'm definitely going to need a coffee before I get into this video. This is a complex one. Here we go. That's much better. Up on the review table today is a 2013 Thomas Take and Play playset called Spills and Thrills on Sodor. In the history of Thomas Take and Plays, this is actually a little bit of a, well, how would you say, sideways adventure. In this playset, gravity ruled and Thomas zoomed down the railway, doing things along the way, triggering stuff, and down the bottom getting covered in a splash of green paint, which looked totally awesome. Like all the Thomas playsets, the artwork does suck you in, doesn't it? In Australia, this playset retailed, its high price is about $45. I think the lowest I saw this playset selling for was, around about $25. The top of the box reads like that. If you want to pause the video there, you can have a read. Back of the box says Spills and Thrills as seen on the DVD. Spills and Thrills, was that a good one or a bad one? Well, they're all good, aren't they? The back of the box also shows these Take and Play playsets from the Spills and Thrills era. I'll be honest here with you, I don't think I ever saw these in store. Mind you, it does say subject to availability. But hey, there's a lot of stuff that I miss out on. But there was something about this playset that I noticed was it was in the stores for a very, very long period of time. It hung around in the shelves for what seemed like an eternity. Go around to the front of the box again. Okay, we've got an idea what this is about. Now that is actually one still in box. But surprise, surprise, about 3, maybe 3.5 years back, I did review this playset, but guess what? I never uploaded it to YouTube. Hopefully my YouTube audience, and there'll be some parents there, will see me as a fairly straight-shooting, straight-talking sort of person when it comes to looking at toys and reviewing. I'm not really into fluffy reviews like some people are. As you can see, I paid $44 at a store in Australia called Myer for this playset. That was the top price in a sense. It came down much lower than that as it sat on the shelves for a long time after the first initial time I saw this toy. The best part about this toy, I think, was this Thomas here, which got a splash of paint as it went through the playset down to the bottom, and it picked this up at the bottom. It was a nice little trick. The fact that it magnetized onto the front there is very nice. But notice here with this Thomas, guess what? That's the old style smart magnet system, okay? And this is one of the last of the Thomases of that era, because it changed to a different magnet, which we'll talk about very shortly, won't we, boys and girls? So I really found nothing wrong with that aspect of the playset. It wasn't until my son played with this playset, we took it inside, and what I kept seeing was basically the playset in that position there, down on the ground. It's a bit of a strange playset, and what can I say best? It needs something to lean against to play. Okay, it's meant to be up against the wall. And I remember when I made the video, I leant it up against a box, and you'll see this up at the end of the video, the initial review or the stab we had of this. And it just didn't feel, it didn't feel right to me, boys and girls, would be the best way of saying it. When I saw this toy go inside and saw it doing this all the time, I thought, right, I've seen enough. Maybe it's best if I actually come inside my house here and I'll show you how this playset would play in its natural form. Well, Thomas is taking a dive then. Up against the wall like that. That's how it plays. I'm just going to show you how it plays. It's worth seeing this, I think. Okay, so you can set little things up on this playset to go, and I think the bridge did something funky as well. And Thomas is at the top here. Okay, and we'll hopefully capture this without any rage going on. Okay, Thomas is on his way, goes down. Sort of gets stuck a bit. That's the fun of the toy, isn't it? Goes down, sort of gets stuck a bit, hits that thing there, gets stuck again, and poof, comes through here with his splash of paint. what I noticed with my son when he played with this indoors was that he'd be playing with the toy, and half the time it would end up basically on the deck like this, okay? It just seemed to want to slip off the wall a little bit too easily. It was one of these things where I thought maybe I need to put suction cups on here or do something with this toy to make it better, but I just kept seeing it wanting to be down like that. And it made me think about, well, hang on a second, we've never had a playset like this. This seems to be very different to anything else we've had. Why are we presented with a toy that's working up against the wall and has a pattern for wanting to fall down? I'm trying to be as fair as I can here. That's what we kept seeing. I'll just grab Thomas and this playset and go back outside. Okay, and I'll just gently put it on the table. So I've given you a bit of a demonstration here of this toy. It loves laying down like this. I looked at this toy and I thought, well, how can I make it any better? But then I thought to myself, hang on, I shouldn't need to make a toy better, should I? If I'm buying a toy, and I looked at the back here, and I thought, well, I could probably add some pieces onto here and have it as a freestanding toy like my son would like to play with. So my first very simple idea was buy another playset. Hey, yeah, and I actually got this one cheaper from Target there. And there's a whippersnipper next door now, so this video's going to have to be canned, isn't it? So let's build... Hang on a second, there's spiderweb in here. Oh my god. Look at that. Maybe there's a redback in this box. I have to be careful. A spider might pop out of here, but we're going to make up another one of these playsets, as strange as that sounds. Yeah. First emergency is Thomas is stuck in one of those bags. Notice they don't give him any breather holes. How is he going to survive? I better get him out of here. And we can all breathe a sigh of relief. Thomas is out of the bag. He has survived. This is the good era of Thomas. Like I said, it's got these smart magnets, hopefully. And underneath, I think it's 2012 in the flare there, we hope. Yeah, that was the last of when it was that good. And you know what came after that? Do you think we need to go there in this video? I think we do. Dun, dun, dun. That was a 2013 Thomas, the rollover cab with the dumb magnets, as I'll say. And out of curiosity, let me get this bag of boogie here. Yeah, because I want to play with this part right here. This is a lovely little magical piece, like I showed before. You know why? Because it goes clip on there. Look at that. It goes on nicely. But sadly, with the next Thomas that came along, it was a bit strange. And, you know, I saw my son try this, hey. I saw him try it, and sadly, it doesn't go on. And it's a little bit frustrating, but hey, if you're a Thomas lover, you get used to being frustrated. But there was some sort of good news, sort of. You know why? Because Mattel saw the light and they realised that magnet there was a stupid move, and along came Thomas Adventures with an excellent hook system. Let's see if that goop fits this Thomas. So here's a Thomas Adventures with a lovely hook coupling system, clip coupler, and yes, the goopy goo does go on there, but sadly because there's no magnet, there's no way of it really sticking on there. I know my son would fix that by putting some blue tack in there and making it fit, but it sort of is nice that we can fit onto this. It was really stupid and sad we had this moment in time, which thankfully didn't last very long, but what this was really designed for was the smart magnet system like that. Let me clear out the Thomases we don't need. Let me grab the constructions, and because I'm a man, you know what I'm going to do with those? Whooshka! Well, I can do that because I've got another set of constructions from this first set, and I'll come along and build this playset. It's a nice, easy playset to build. What is nice about it, it's got nice, tight curves. It's very reminiscent of one of the other nice playsets I've got, the Quarry Run. I've got to say that slowly, maybe I'll show that in this video soon. And you can see it coming together nicely here. And I think that piece jags in there somewhere, like that, nice and gently. And at this point here, without putting the arms and everything on it, you've got like a take-and-play spring, boing, 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 boing. Oh, it's on the deck, boys and girls. And getting back on track, and sorry for the pun, there's the feet bits like this, and it all goes together sort of in one way, if that makes any sense to you. Well, I don't think you can make any mistakes, I hope. So I've got to this point here, and I thought, well, maybe I could use just these arms and sort of finish the playset, which I think was never built correctly in the first place. Let's see if I could easily add these arms onto this playset that's made. Maybe I better add this cross-member piece as well. Oh, if I can remember how to do all this. I'm not that bright some days. Well, now it's raining on me, apart from chainsaws before. Anyway, that's my legs put together there. This is the playset I originally had, and I think I can perform some magic here, and it may astound you, it may, scare you. I've just got my camera in my hand holding this. I'm going to bring this up here. Look at that camera move. I'm working single-handedly here. I'm going to put that piece in there like that. Okay, and I think if I just turn it around like this, ta-da! All of a sudden, I've actually got a freestanding playset, which is, I think, the way this playset should have come. Hello, Mattel. I hope you're watching this. Hello. This is a really nice idea. And if I squeeze up some sausages of blue tack in here, it can act as a temporary glue for me. Okay, there we go. And I've just put some more blue tack on the other side there, so it's all holding together. Now, this is where the magic's going to happen. As I pull back the camera and turn this around, the legs are going to stay on, and I've got a freestanding take and play thrills and spills playset in the way I think it should have been presented. So let me show you this playset playing out as a standalone playset without needing a wall. I've got Thomas in my hand here. Hopefully I've got the playset set up correctly. Okay, Thomas, go, Thomas, go. Down he goes. Oh, he's going fast. Down he goes, and yeah! Perfect run, Thomas. Perfect run. And Thomas, that was actually so much fun. We are going to do that again because, in a strange way, as a standalone, stand-free playset, it's excellent. But it doesn't come out of the box like that, and that's why I never ended up reviewing this playset in the way I would normally review on YouTube. It's the first time I've had to come along and modify a toy to play like the way my son and myself like to play. Okay, Thomas, here we go. Oh, down he goes. He's fast, isn't he? He's super fast, and yeah, it goes. Oh, he's crashed. Thomas is down. Thomas is down. Yeah, this is the way this playset really likes to play. It is a top playset when you play with it like that. Now, what Mattel should have done, this is my thoughts to Mattel, maybe they'll give me a job one day, they could have made this a scissor joint here, and it could have been a fold-up take and play where these legs basically fold up like that. Would have been so simple, wouldn't it? Another idea, because I've got two playsets, is I could actually strap on the other playset on the back here and like have a double daring run down the back. And I'll quickly do that. Maybe you've got this playset, maybe you're seeing it very cheap and it's giving you ideas, hey? Nice ideas. I should have read the constructions. I actually put these on back the front. I'm doing some reverse engineering here and unclipping bits that sometimes can be a bit tricky to do, especially when you're holding cameras and stuff. Well, I got that off. What is it about when I make reviews, people start up chainsaws and whippersnippers everywhere? There's something about me, I'm a magnet for noise coming from next door. Don't know why. It's actually bringing back some memories. When I first built this set, 3.5 years back for the review, I was a bit spooked by the way it went together and relied on a wall to be a support for play. Maybe some more audience bought this set and can have their 5 cents to say about this playset. Okay, there's the second one built up. It's freaky having two of these, considering how much I struggled with the idea of having just one. And if I bring the two of them up together like this, magic happens. That may also pay to get a bit of a blue tack sausage in here somewhere, around about there, squeeze it up and join these two together. Well, it may not win the award for being the prettiest take-and-play playset, but I've slapped two spills and thrills on Sodor to make a very curious double-sided playset that doesn't need a wall to play against. Okay, I'm going to set this Thomas off here on this side, and this Thomas off here on this side. And you can't keep your eyes off Thomas, can you? Because he's so magical. Oh, wow. Well done, Thomas. Now you're going to fall on the deck. Bye. Don't worry, boys and girls, Thomas the Tank did survive once he hit the deck. I think, like I said before, that was one of the nicest parts of the playset. The fact Thomas rides down, gets his gloopy glue. Let me show you one other variation that I can do with this, because there was something I noted about this section here, and we'll get rid of one playset. If you don't want to buy a second playset to make it a freestander, let me show you a really, really cheap option. Let me just gently pull these apart. Like that. Not sure whether you can hear that. That's the noise I'm dealing with somewhere over the back there. Sounds like trees dying. And before we get into the really cheap option, I know some of you say, where's Fluffy Leo? Well, look at her there. She's having a little afternoon nap. Somehow she's sleeping through all that noise. I don't know how. If I spin this over, I did take note of this section here. Very curious little size there, and I found something that fits in there nicely. What this stuff is, well, number one, it's really, really cheap. It's conduit for electrical cable. Let me show you how it's used. Well, up there on the roof, obviously there is a light, and if I track along, the iris goes a bit wonky. Right in the middle of the screen, or going across screen, is electrical conduit. And the best thing about this stuff here is, apart from being really easy to get, is it is the perfect size to fit in there. Look at that, yeah. So then all you need to do is cut the right length so we can stand the playset up, like that. Oh, not like that. And like Thomas Magic, I've cut two of these. I've done a few calculations, and I'll show you the length that I used. Okay, here it is there. You're looking at about 460 millimeters and 1 foot and, well, just over 6 inches in imperial. And remember, the smart thing to do is to measure twice and cut once. It may help you in saving some poor decisions. And it's really simple. You just slide it in here. It's a nice interference fit, and it's going to make this playset a winner. Now, I haven't glued it or anything. I could put blue tack in there. It is just interference fit, and if I stand the playset up, voila! We have a freestanding playset that doesn't need a silly wall to play on. And if I reassemble this playset and set it back up, we can give Thomas another run down this miraculous playset. Okay, go Thomas, go! 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 Stacker! Now remember, this is a take and play playset. Things are a little bit different back then, as in the weight of the Thomas and everything. Let me just reset this with that grinding sound in the background. Don't you love it? With a Thomas Adventures Thomas, it's got a few things here I've got to reset. It's going to keep you busy, this playset, in the nicest sort of way. Okay, I've got one of those Thomases there. In a sense, the more modern one is the time I'm doing this video here. I'm going to set Thomas up here. We're going to watch the way he works in this playset. Oh, okay, Thomas, what's going on here? Let's do that again. Reset that piece there. Go, Thomas, go. Uh-oh. Houston, or Sodor Island, we have a problem here. Let's just try that one more time. I hope you're watching this very carefully. Okay, go Thomas, go. Whoa, whoa. Oh, Thomas has made it through. He finally made it through. Let's just reset this again, and we'll just give it another go. I think what we're going to see here is Thomas, well, this style of Thomas is a little bit unstable on this playset. Oh, okay, there we are. Now, some people may not see that as a problem. It seems to work better with the take and plays and the way the weight is just distributed. I can't talk on that type of train. He's made it through. That's the deck, Thomas. That would have hurt. Let me put that Thomas there as a bit of a stop so we don't hurt Thomas anymore by going on a deck. Let me reset the playset and make it all fiddly and diddly like we like to do. But what I notice is that this type of Thomas here, the Adventures one, is a bit unstable for this playset. I think it does that more than it does a trip all the way down. But hey, that may not disturb you. It may disturb you. It's just one of those peculiar things, and I think that, you know, the smallest change in the weight of these toys tends to change the way they play. Oh, he made it through as a stacker. But let's be remembered, this is Thomas Adventures. Things change, don't they, with toys? And this is Thomas Take and Play. And for me, and I might get into trouble for saying this, but for me, Take and Play was all about playsets that were standalone, playsets that stood up and played like this. It would have been so easy for Mattel to add a couple of legs onto the back of this, or even one leg would have done it, one leg straight down the middle, and we would have had a different style of play, and I think one which is far more I don't know, far more fun than having to deal with playing against a wall. Without getting into hyper-detailed era, the changes to Thomas that have happened in a very short amount of time, this era here was a peculiar one because we sort of had the failed magnets, but it did produce some of the really, really nice Thomas toys, as in the gold one there, and also the streamlining Thomas. And I know you'll be curious about the streamlining Thomas on this playset. I certainly was, and it's going to surprise you. It's a nice weighty Thomas. It's a bit of a different design. Okay, I've got the playset reset. Okay, go, and he moves quite fast down here. Yeah, go, Thomas, go. Whoa! That's the deck again, Thomas. Sorry about that. I know there's going to be some people who won't like what I've had to say in this video. They're probably thinking, oh, Leo, it's only a toy, and I think that's the big problem here. People don't really take toys too seriously. Strangely, I do. I think my audience like me for doing so. I've never really had to come in and do a change like this to a toy to make some sense out of it. The other thing you could do, and it's sort of what I did when we struggled to make the review like 3.5 years ago, is you can use the box, but even the box is a bit shy in height. If the box is a little bit higher, you can do a very, very simple thing. Here, let me take away my legs here, and you can just basically rest this there. But the problem with this playset here is that if it's tilting back a bit, you actually don't get a stable play. The Thomas wants to keep falling over. It's really, really important to have it up at the right angle. And to get the playset at the right angle, you can just very, very simply use its own box there, get a couple of mega blocks or something in there. They're actually from Thomas sets, those ones. Do the same to the other side. That's the sort of height that you need. And then that will give you a playset at the right angle, the angle to play. Maybe the proof of point will give Thomas a run here. I've reset the playset. Okay, go, Thomas, go. Oh, he's very fast, isn't he? And down if he goes. Yeah, he made it. Personally, I think that playset works far better as a freestanding set. Maybe you can have your 5 cents on this as well. I let the playset burn out of the marketplace, so I wasn't embarrassing Fisher-Price Mattel too much. Maybe they thought it was a great idea to have a wall-leaning playset. I did note that I don't think they revisited that style of playset. It's the only take-and-play playset that's like that, and I've had lots of them. I've got a whole box of them here. We might take a look at them next. Mattel Fisher-Price, same company. Their share price isn't looking too hot at the moment. In fact, it's looking very, very sad. And it's a complex thing that's going on at the moment. The children generation right now aren't playing like the generation before. In fact, toys have become like, well, the old-fashioned thing in a sense. There's something new that's come along in the last couple of years, and I've spoken about this a couple of times, and it's changing the way children play. I think that playset there was something that was like it felt rushed to me. I like to use one word. To me, it felt rushed. It felt like someone hasn't come along and dotted the I's and crossed the T's. And personally, if I was running a toy company, I would never have signed off on a toy like that, considering the histrionics of the toys, which have been like that. Let's take a look at some of the other take-and-play sets that I've had over the years, very quickly, of course. I've just left the spills and thrills on Sodor so you get a scale of one playset versus another. This one here, I think it was called Quarry Run. I've got to say that very slowly because it's hard to say fast. A very dynamic playset, had lots of ins and outs through it, and the toys would burst through these mine doors here. And out of curiosity, what I'm noticing is the Thomas Adventures toys are a little bit light, and they hang up on these playsets. Mind you, this is Take and Play, this is Thomas Adventures, and they probably were never meant to talk to each other, as you can see. And what Take and Plays are about, because I know there'll be children who won't know about them, is they could fold up like this magically, in a sense. And that part there did something funky as well, and you could sort of, pick them up, take them, and play, like that. Woo! There were other types of take-and-plays that, well, they weren't really my favourites because, well, they came in all these different components, and if you lost a bundle of this, you lost your fun of your playset. Yeah, I forgot the name of this playset. I even forgot the name of that character there. Was it Owen? I've forgotten. I remember it had a thing where this, I think it dragged something up the playset, but I don't know. It looked nice when it was all together, but I wasn't really that keen on the playsets like that. This was a nice one. It came with that speckledy Thomas as well. There was one you could pick up, take and play, and you could basically fold it out. And whammo, there was your playset to play with. Little trick things on this one here. Good memories, hey? Good memories indeed. There was something about the rocks in here rumbled, and I've sort of... There we are. Just remember, you push that down and the gold goes everywhere. Had this little trick area as well. I've just reminded me I'm missing this section here. This is the problem when parts aren't attached to the playset. You're trying to come along here, whooshka, and it would normally blow something off there and expose your nugget of gold. Yeah, there have been times when I've rectified... Oh, that's on the deck, as you can see. There's been times when I've rectified that by gluing pieces on. This one here, this actually was an excellent one. My son loved this one, and I thought it was quite nice as well. It's from Day of the Diesels, that's all I know, that era. I forgot the name of the playset. And Thomas could go around here. There's a bit of a crane thing here. It did look like what you saw in the film on the other side, and I think your Thomas train goes along like this. Not sure whether he's going to play for us here, and he comes along and goes... He's meant to trigger something. There you go. It's probably because it's a bit dusty, boys and girls. That's all it is. And Thomas can go there and be very scared by Diesel 10. Now, this was one of the playsets that you could really fold up, and I remember changing the design a bit, and it had a loose piece. Remember the video I did about gluing that piece on? Notice I haven't lost mine. You know why? Because I glued my piece on, and I think you can fold this up. Just moving the trains on there. Something... Oh, there goes the camera, boys and girls. Something like that, something like that. It does actually fold up nicely. Just believe me on that, and I'll just gently move it aside. Well, this next set here, I think it came in a couple of different themes. I might be wrong. The Sodor Ironworks. I'm thinking this is one of the later ones that I reviewed. And my son loved it. It had a colour changing thing in this, so hot and cold water thing there. A bit of rolling stock that was special. Let me just unfold this set. And yeah, it's like your classic, you know, this is the way Take and Plays should be like. And you had busy things to do. If I just get a Thomas here, and you could just, you know, whooshka, whooshka, whooshka. That's funny, when I see that magnet system there, I think of the good era, if that makes any sense. I hope I'm not sounding cruel by saying that. But it just, you know, you get onto this and you just want to play. It's funny that, the good play sets. Oh, want to play, want to crash, and, you know, pick things up. And better put this one away. It's looking like a train wreck. That was a bit messy, wasn't it? But, you know, it's quite seriously, there you go. It's all stowed up, you take, and you play. We're just going to have a bit of a learning curve, take along look here. This is something, obviously, before Take and Play. I like this for the simplicity of it and its cuteness in a sense. It has an unclippable thing there. If I just unclip the handle like that, then you can open it up like such. Ta-da! Beautiful little scene in there. Your favourite Thomas of your liking can be there. And there you go. You're playing wherever you want to play. Very nice little idea. And this is something that came up to me through the charity shop. So it's a little bit before my time of looking at things on YouTube. But I think, you know, in that, it's just a fantastic idea. Well, this is a real trip back in time in relation to my videos on YouTube. I remember looking at this many, many years ago. It's all folded up. Maybe it's best to keep it like this. I've totally forgotten the name of this playset. I think there was a skull or something out here that the train got onto, and there was treasure here. But it was a proper, like, Take and Play. It all folded up and everything, and there was a handle there, and you took it to your best friend or your relation's house, and you played. Oh, this playset here, it divides the Thomas audience, I tell you. You're either going to love this thing, or you're going to hate it. I remember seeing my son, he didn't engage with this. I think he preferred things that were more like Sodor Island, like most people, but it sort of pulled out. It was an unusual one for the fact that the way it pulled out and went together. Oh, there we are. Oh, that's right. Thomas comes down here. Then it falls like that, and he scoodles down there. I don't know. It's just one of those toys that divides the community. I don't know whether the Thomas Adventures would work on this. Would it work? I'm very curious now. I'm trying to think, how did you play with this? Did you... There we go. Oh. Wake up. No, it's not working for me. Yeah, memories, hey, and well, for the fact that it's stowed away in a very, very compact way, was maybe its most endearing feature, apart from having a big shark on its head. Actually, just before I get rid of this muncher, I'm just looking for the licensing info. Okay, it's down here. Let's take a look. Hope you can see that. 2012. 2012, well, that was the last time we saw a Thomas like that. Important sort of era to remember. And I'll just push this playset aside nice and gently. Whoa! Ups! Lucky they're tough. Good news, I found the skull to the shipwreck set, me hearties. That'll cause some skullduggery. Arrgh. For a bit of hard and fast and very simple Thomas and Friends Take and Play, there were these really compact yet simple to set up playsets like this. Whooshka had a bit of a scene here, some nice track to play with, and you could stow an engine in here somewhere. Hopefully no one's in there, or else it would have been in a box for many years without being played with. Yeah, I actually didn't mind those at all. Boom. Okay, this next one is an excellent one. It's 2010 Mattel. Just remember that, 2010. Very important to remember the year on this one. I think this came in a variety of different formats. I might be corrected there. And it is a proper take and play. It was in its stowed up mannerism there. Unclip that side there. Look at that there. It's unfolding like a charm, isn't it? Hey, set this up here. It's very dusty, I'm sorry. Not cleaned at all. Put that one up there. Wow, it's funny, you get this out, you want to start playing, don't you? And had that piece that came down like that there, clipped into there. But it keeps unfolding. It did this at the front here like this. Starting to see the full picture. Okay, this piece here went on over here like that. Nice, isn't it, hey? And of course you had your little delivery thingo there. It's very grubby and dusty, isn't it? It's been in storage for a long time. But I think when you see a playset like this, 2010, remember that? I told you to remember it. It looks totally awesome. That's what Take and Plays should be like. So for me, this set's got a nice Sodor feel. It does show me that Mattel were taking care in being very Sodor-like and making, well, playsets that feel like real environments. If I just get that down like that, I can give Thomas a bit of a spinner on the crane. Because it's funny, I've got this out now and look at me playing. That's what good toys do to you, and I can take Thomas across to the other side and set him down nice and gently, of course. Hate him to crash. And he can chuff off from his wonderment there, come around here, look at him go. Go, Thomas, go! Come up here if he wants. Nice incline here to go up. Of course, he's a hero, and he can safely go down there. Very slowly, of course. Yes, I remember I did extra detailing on this toy as well when I reviewed it many years ago now, but boy oh boy is it screaming the goodness of how things used to be. Hey, let me just pack this away nice and gently, of course, because we want to look after our good toys, don't we, boys and girls? We've got to slam the front up here. I like the way, you know, sometimes it was just the way these things went back together was half the joy of them. The fact they had areas for the engines to stow and whatever else. But you can see what I mean there. I'll get it done off camera, believe me. It's always good to go back and look what happened in the recent past. Remember, 2010. It's very important. Let me try and show you where I found the date, if I can find it again. Somewhere around here. There's the licensing there. It's a reminder of the good old days. Now, seeing this building here, I think Thomas Adventures has got this in a playset. In fact, I'm sure of it. And if I drift the camera across here, look at that playset there, Cranky at the docks. Okay, obviously we've got Cranky there, we've got Thomas being useful. We've got the Sodor Shipping Company. Now, we'd be curious to do a comparison of that playset there versus this Take and Play playset from the golden era. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. And I think they also did the Shark playset again as well. Let me just show you the heap of Take and Plays that is building up over here. Okay, look at that down there. It looks impressive, doesn't it? There's one more for the pipe. Whooshka. There was this playset here. It's got a licensing info to 2015. It's like Rumble in the Jungle. I reviewed it. It doesn't feel like that long ago on my YouTube channel. A piece like that comes down. You could go ape with this all day long if you wanted to. I think you pump Thomas's or whoever up here for like a race. And one of them would scoodle off down that way. The other one would scoodle off down that way. One thing about this playset was it was nice and compact, but it was maybe a little bit too tight. I don't know. You can have your say. 2015, and really it's a stark difference between this versus the Sodor Shipping Company that we looked at, which was 2010. Well, the next two I'm showing as a double act because, well, they came in a totally awesome Thomas and Friends set, which I'll show you the box very shortly. Of course, there's the Cranky set here, and he pops up something like that. Totally awesome version of Cranky. Hope he's full height. There we go, that's better. Really does get up nice and high. And there was Tidmouth sheds, and I've done a bit of custom work to this because I like to, and it unfolds and does its take and play thing like that. And the best thing about this one here is, I mean, look at that, it's a nice big circuit of track. And just on the sense of scale, and these are larger toys, you don't see this anymore in this sort of size, especially versions of Cranky. This is a massive Cranky, and one of the best ones that I've got. This is 2009, so it's right at the start when Mattel grabbed this from Learning Curve. It opened up the back here, you could play and fiddle. Note here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bays for the toys to play, and there was a nice turntable here. Nothing wrong with this playset, but then, years later, and only a couple of years later, Tidmouth Sheds, a take and play version, turned into this. Now, how many bays can we see here? 1, 2, 3. This is 2016 version of Tidmouth Sheds. It was the last of the take and play sets that I saw in store. I don't know, there's something about having 3 bays that spooks me, because I know the toy used to look like this with 5 bays of play. It might be a tad cruel trying to compare something which is actually out of box and looks totally awesome with something which is cooped up in box. But the other peculiar aspect to this playset is, just after this, they changed the track system, they changed the magnet systems on these as well. They became clip connectors, and they got rid of take and play. Okay, that's gone, and I think I know why take and play got dissolved. It's very simple. Because children don't pick up toys like this and go to relatives anymore, because something came along and changed the way we play, didn't it? Yes, this here, it's an iPad, it could be a tablet of some sort. This is what children now take and play. I'm sure you're all going to agree with me, I've seen it myself. This is what children carry around with them, with umpteen train apps and whatever else in there. Carrying a toy between houses and relatives and all the rest of it, that's a little bit old school. And for a reminder of how it used to be back in the early days of Fisher-Price doing the toys, on the table there is the box to my totally Tidmouth, totally awesome playset. I reviewed this playset many years ago on my YouTube channel. It's the sort of playset it leaves you wanting for not much more in life, I can tell you. It had just about everything. As we saw, the cranky in this playset was totally huge. We saw it in real life in this video, and it had a whole ton of things in the playset as well. Lots of characters, lots of everything. It was Sodorific. And for a real trip down memory lane, that is the set where I got the wonderful troublesome truck that rocks like that. And I can guarantee to you, boys and girls, rolling stock like this, you just do not see it anymore. That's the good stuff, okay? That's the very nice stuff. And for the fact that it rock and rolls, and we all love those magnet connectors, don't we? Yeah. Well, they were the good old days, and off chugs Thomas. Woo! Go, Thomas, go. Oh, helps if you get the turntable set in the right direction, Thomas. Woo! One day I may come in and open this up, but I'm always going to compare it to the classic one from 2009. That's what you do when you review toys. I'm sorry to say it like that. Here are some other take and plays that I never got round to opening up. They look awesome, actually. Percy to the rescue. Did you ever get that one? Look at that scary zone in there. This one here, Scrapyard Cleanup Team, also looks from the Tale of the Brave. Did it have anything to do with the actual story? Possibly not. This one here featuring Devious Diesel. This is a curious one. Diesel's double delivery. It actually has like 2 sides to the playset. Maybe it shows a bit on the other side and maybe it doesn't. No. Oh, out of curiosity, look at that down there. We know this playset here, that's the one we fixed up in this video, hey? So possibly the same era as well as the one we fixed up, and I've just totally forgot its name. This one here reminded me of a Hot Wheels set for some reason. You know, when they race the cars? To me, it was like, well, just put your Thomas trains on your Hot Wheels set and you probably get the same fun, wouldn't you? Maybe. This bigger set here, Thomas Adventure Castle, never got around to reviewing it. It does have a very nice looking Thomas in there. Okay, and of curious note, I'm sure I looked at this one on my YouTube channel, but here's one which has got the dumb magnets. There were often these which had the smart magnets, I noticed. And then I saw some with the dumb magnets. It's like the transition period of smart to dumb. Oops, speaking of dumb, that was dumb, wasn't it? This one here, I never reviewed it. Obviously, it's still in box. Looks awesome, doesn't it? A Roaring Dino Run. Okay, just gently push that aside. This one here, this is where I start to say, I think we're starting to get off the rails here. No pun intended. Rattling rails. I don't know. I think we've lost that Sodor feel. What do you think? Eh? Yeah, look at that's the era. the dumb magnet era, where the playset started to get a little bit silly. And this one here, I've never looked at these. I nearly got into these. The Tin Shed launchers. Maybe you've played with them. And this one here, which actually doesn't look too bad, or have I got it around the wrong? Oh, that's the right way. It's got a nice featured Thomas, and that's probably why I picked it up, because it's a different Thomas. Waterworks Rescue. Take a look at the back of this one here. What do you reckon of that? It's the dumb magnet era. For the fact we're actually rescuing something, it may be a nice little playset to play with, hey? But best of all, what I like about this is we get a nice special featured Thomas, and that's always going to bring a smile to my face. These collector's sheets are great historical reference points. This is take along, so this is back in the learning curve era before Mattel, and I'm sure lots of you are going to get joy in seeing this here. You're going to get lots of memories of things from the bygone era, in a sense. Wow, there's Mighty Mac there. Oh, man. It's almost too good to be true, isn't it? Look at that. Remember the way it used to play? There's actually, it reminds me, there's a playset here that I tried to get years back and I couldn't find it. It was that one there. Okay, but look at the goodness down there. Hey, look, it's the era of those tote boxes like that. I've got lots of those in my Thomas collection. So it just says 2007 there. One last look over this, because I know it's going to bring you happiness and joy. Very much a trip back in time, back to when it was a very, very different Thomas and Friends railway. Almost said take and play experience, but it was take along. And of course, take along transformed into take and play. And then I've got a 2010 checklist here. I'm just going to try and go through these. Once again, there's going to be lots of memories here. Look at the character sets there. There's some good ones, isn't there, hey? Very, very nice. And we go down here to the bottom here. Look at this, the talking light and sounds engines. I noticed that people didn't really keen to those. Whenever I gave those away, no one ever asked for these, which was curious to see. Of course, there's another side as well, isn't there? Look at that there. That's just awesome, isn't it? Down here. That's when the tote boxes weren't so awesome. Look at that, hey? Oh, look at that there. Yeah, I'm starting to understand this era. Yes, very, very nice. And of course, we'll move on another year to 2011. Let's remove 2010. I'm not sure how much of a difference there is here. I just want you to see this. I know you're going to get lots of goosebumps looking at the way things used to be. Okay, and then the other side. Yeah, oh yeah. I remember these packs and stuff. Yeah, rolling stock. Bring back the 2-packs, I say, hey? Themed packs. Bring back the themed packs. Oh, yeah, look at that down there. Yes, themed packs. I've got a sneaky suspicion maybe that's what we'd like to see come back. Remember those? They were excellent. I notice this says 2011, so it says new there, so that would have been about 2011 era. Great set, that one. Okay, move on to the next one, that's being 2012. Okay, bit ragtag, but I know all you want to see is those little toy trains down there. Look at that. Wow, going down a bit further. Is it? Selection getting bigger and bigger as we roll on. Remember, this is the Mattel era, okay? So on this back here, looking at that there, nice rolling stock, double packs. Oh, pulling. Oh, there you go. There's a blast from the past. Yeah, they were sort of good, but there are the themed packs as well. It's amazing, isn't it? And there's the fold-out portable play sets as well, hey, yeah. So what was that one? That was 2012. The next one I've got is 2013, so away with 12. I'm not sure how different this one is. I'm just sneaking my eye over to the side. Yes, I think it's a little bit different. They seem to change it up every year, didn't they? Okay, those ones down there. Talking light and sounds. Wow. Oh, yes, okay. This is obviously a playset I've got, but I didn't review. Okay, there. Gift packs. Wow. Actually, there's some here. This diesel one looks tops, doesn't it? I remember those little bits on the engines there. Yeah, I like those. I like those a lot. Now, my memory was that these packs used to sell really, really well. And in fact, there's some there that I never saw. And then look at this. I don't think I ever got this silver Thomas. I remember you had to get X amount of things and you could get one of these or something, but I never got one. And there's some more memories there, isn't there? Oh, a couple of, memories we really don't want to have. And the next one I've got is a bit of a jump. And we actually jump up to Thomas Adventures. And I picked this up in a shop in the city where I live. There's a whole stack of them, so I got a couple of these. And you can see the way this is starting to kick off. It's like starting from scratch all over again, hey? Some nice things there just crawling down here. I don't know, I quite understand the super rare thing that they're saying here. I don't understand. I don't think I want to know, do I? And the other side's blank, which is a bit boring, but hey, yes, now we're into the realm of Thomas and Friends Adventures. And just on the thought of Thomas Adventures playsets, and I think, I think they're awesome. Maybe you think something different. I think some of these that I've looked at, Charlie's Day at the Quarry, featuring Charlie there, which is sort of nice, isn't it? This one here, Thomas's great Dino delivery thing. Looks awesome here, a bit of a double layered play. Reminds me of one of the other take and play playsets, strangely. This one here, of course, Cranky at the Docks. Be very curious to put that up against some of the take and play stuff. And this one here, the Shark Escape playset, which strangely revisits Thomas being taken out by a shark. This might be a very, very awesome playset. I've really got to get out of the box. I think you lift that thing up and it shoots Thomas around here, blah, blah. I don't like the YouTube Kids thing. I've said that many times on my channel. Yeah, it's one of those things you really got to get out of the box and start to play. But the one thing I noticed about Thomas Adventures was they started to put this stuff on the market at a much lower price. So it felt like you're getting much more bang for buck, but really were you? And there are also these track packs here. These were actually, for me, very hard to find. They make a full little layout and another track pack like that. Some recurring theme of Thomas the Tank being threatened by a very dangerous shark over there. But these little track packs, well, they actually make little layouts like that, which I think is rather neat. With Thomas and Friends Adventures, the feeling I've got is there's been a lot of change in a very short time, particularly the last couple of years. I showed in this video, I think the golden times of Take and Play was 2009, 2010. Back when Thomas was playing on Sodor Island, he seemed to be drifting from Sodor Island of late. Mattel have got to look very, very carefully what they're up to. They're starting to alienate some of the core Thomas fans. Mind you, some of these people are adults who are still playing with toys, and that's a very spicy subject indeed. But then again, they're up against something which is the digital kids, in a sense, the kids who love playing with the free apps and everything that's free. And how can you compete against something that's free? I think they're moving in a good direction at the moment. I've looked at some of the Thomas and Friends Adventure stuff. Sure, there's been a cheapening of the toy, there's been a downsizing of a sense, but I think it's the right move. I've got a good feeling about what they're doing. There was a very, very strange era in 2013, 2014 where things weren't feeling very good, and maybe that's why there's a lot of those sets that I never looked at. Now I'm going to move on to the Spills and Thrills review that we did feels like umpteen years ago when we initially looked at this toy, and you're going to probably hear me speaking very positively about the toy. Mind you, in the back of my mind I was thinking, well, hang on a second, it seems like there's pieces missing in this toy. But I speak positively because on YouTube, sadly, you've often got to paint things, very brightly and make things sound really nice, because in a strange way, if you speak negatively about something on YouTube, your video mysteriously gets hidden away. You either got to add, like talking about Coca-Cola or some sugary blah blah rubbish food. There's something about rubbish connected to a video that makes it popular, which I sort of don't quite understand. But if you speak negatively about something and say, you really fire arrows at it, your video gets hidden away really fast. So it's going to be very curious now to go and take a look at that review, what we did many years back, and see what I was saying about Spills and Thrills. But at least finally, I've come around to fixing the toy and making it the way I think it should have been made from the toy factory. Okay, let's go for a trip back in time. Well, this is the my boy putting together the Thomas and Friends Take and Play Spills and Thrills. It's a bit complex for you to put together. Well, this is weird going back into time like this. One thing I can remember is we never finished this review. We did this unboxing and assembling of the toy and we got distracted a bit. But when we saw this playset was very different to the other Take and Play playsets that we had at this time, we really started to, let's say, lose interest in looking at this toy. I've always had this saying on YouTube, the really good toys literally sell themselves, they make the best videos and become very popular. This toy here was something very, very different, especially when you compare it to the other Take and Play playsets of that era. It's got a little piece at the magnets onto the front of Thomas there. Sort of interesting. I haven't seen that feature before. Yeah, there's like a little magnet in there. I can't see much building going on, but I can see a little bit of playing. And Thomas is getting a few test runs before the playset is built. Yeah. Go, Thomas, go. This playset's got some nice little bits of detail on it. Children love to see detail, and what's really nice is the stickers have already been applied, and that's going to really make the parents happy. How's the build going along there?
Good.
We're playing, I don't think we're building at the moment. Whoa, he's on the ground. Wow, look at that. It's sort of more fun before it's built, isn't it? It's one of these playsets that looks so simple to build, but there are a number of very similar looking pieces in this, and you really need to study these pictures very carefully. They're in fact a little bit too simple, I feel, because poor old daddy here was struggling to get his head around the concept. And a very important read there, it's not a freestanding playset. So in reading that, this really is a different style of take and play playset compared to other ones that we're very familiar with. He quite likes that feature where the bit clips onto the front of Thomas. Quite a clever idea.
Huh.
Does it go on the other engines? Does it go on Gordon? Is that a yes? Daddy will have to inspect that one. Does it go on? Yes or no? Not really. My simplest advice when you're building this playset, this is the sort of instructions you just want to maybe throw away. The best idea is to take a look at the box artwork there. At least you can see the colours and what you're up against and the shapes, and then start putting the playset together. I found the box artwork was the winner for me. What's so funny? I get a lot of distractions when I'm putting playsets together, I've noticed. That's a crash. Well, that's quite an interesting train. Is that like a tug-of-war train?
Express train.
Where's that train going to go? Oh, get used to it, guys. This place is a rough house. Well, this Thomas hasn't been introduced to my son, the train wrecker. Are you looking after that new Thomas? That's alright, Thomas. You'll soon get used to this. Well, this is a very interesting playset, and my son has taken right to it. I'm just having a play here before we really get into the review. I'm hoping I'll learn a bit about this playset by watching him play here. Whoa, well done. He's added these pieces on from his own take and play, stuff. He's got a heap of take and play stuff. He grew up with take and play trains. And what I've done is I actually don't like the idea of sitting against the wall. I want to just maybe use the box here. I've used the best use of a mega block there. Bit of blue tack. I've used the box to hold this up. Maybe that'll give you ideas if you don't want to play against the wall. I like it as a freestanding set versus something against the wall. It's pretty easy to reset this one. You close up this building here. It's got this little cargo trick that gets pushed along. It's also got this signal that gets in the way and gets pushed over. And there's a little Humpty Bridge that we like to play with. And I like watching my son play because I learn a lot about these toys before I get to do a review. Wow. Let's go for it. Let's see if that works. Everything's ready to go. Let's go.
Oops. Take two.
Doing a take two here. Okay. Here we go. Whoa. Whoa. It's faster. It's a crash. But it's fun. Fixing the track up there. Do you want to give Thomas another run? I mean, I like this playset just for that little feature of that glooby thing that sticks on the Thomas. Okay, that little parcel's reset. Hopefully it's right now. I think it was all a bit wrong before. Let's reset the signal. And it looks like Gordon's having a go. Go, Gordon. He's ready to go. Whoa. Whoa. The wild ride. Whoa. And he's had a bit of a slatchy slack and stack. What are you doing there? You're putting blue tack onto that thing. Why is that? Why are you doing that? What's the reason behind that? Oh, okay. It'll fit on the Gordon now with a bit of blue tack on there. There you go, problem solved. Gordon's going to go for another spin, but he's already wearing his face. Oh, he's stuck on that piece. You can't run down the hill with that piece on. It's a bit big on the front. Whoa. Well, I'm running out of light here, and we're resetting to a very different load here. We've got Clarabelle, Thomas, and Gordon's tender for a run. Let's give it a run. Whoa, it's a wild ride. Whoa. Where did that little face end up? Just got pushed to the side. What about if I try one of those Mega Bloks trains? Do you think it will fit? That's James. Let's give James a run. Let's just leave Thomas at the top here.
See?
Oh, he's caught up there. Doesn't like that signal. Oh. Oh, he got to the bottom. A bit of a slouch, but he got there. Sorry about that, James. Obviously, you're not invited. Oh, that looks a bit dicey. Thomas is on some sort of teeter-toter. What's happening there? Oh, 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 oh. Well, you're sort of seeing what I look at before I make a video. Just seeing a little bit of play tells me a whole heap about this toy. Okay, we're going to go back to the future, and my son is going to see this playset, which he hasn't seen for many years. And let's just hear what he had to say about it and see what he thinks about the changes I've done to this playset to make it a fairly awesome freestanding playset. Well, my son has come home from school. He's having some fun with the playset that Daddy has now turned into a freestanding playset. Disregard the thing he's playing with at the moment. He also reminded me, it's not a knife, children. It's just a thing.
It's a training knife.
Thank you. There's no sharp edges, okay? He also reminded me that you can join these together like this to make an awesome layout. Do you remember, looking at the playset here that Daddy just changed, do you remember playing with this playset?
Yeah, it kept falling over.
That's what we wanted to hear. Once again, for Mr. Mattel, what did the playset do?
It kept falling over.
Thank you. I need your fullest attention. I know it's fun to play with that. Do you think Daddy has made an improvement here from what you can see?
Yes.
Do you want to just show me you playing with the trains here? For some reason, got a double header here. Does it work with a double header? Oh, crikeys, it does. And the Thomas double header had come down to here, and that was good to see that we can play as a double header. Let's see that one more time. Although I've got to reset the funny Thomas goop here. Let me just reset this here and this here. Hang on a second, let me just take a look. Is this illegal?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, then how come these are in the shops?
Well,
They'll feel the edges.
yeah, it's just a piece of metal. Okay, there's no knife there.
Look, see, it's just like flat.
Are you absolutely certain you're not playing games with me?
No.
Isn't she a stunner, hey? She was so quiet behind me all this review, and she heard strange noises in the background and somehow didn't wake up. Oh, she's so beautiful. Look at her. Looks like she's still tired. I think she's got another couple of hours sleep left in her. I think he set up a double goop face. I don't know if it's going to work. Thomas double header. Oh, a bit of a hesitation there. Away Thomas goes. Go, go. Oh, he's crashed and burned. He's picked up one splat of paint there, but the other splat of paint has come well forward. And there's another thing about this too, which I sort of semi-forgot, is that the magnets actually work through that splat thing there. Okay, so that was the sort of nice thing about nice strong magnets, eh? We're going to have a bit of a special go here. I'm setting up the double splat. Mind you, it's probably not going to work because we've got a very strange double header going on here. I've reset that piece there and that piece there. And we're going to go with the beautiful streamlining plus the gold Thomas. You want to give this a go? What is all those other Thomases there for? Give this a go. Let's see what happens. Okay, go Thomas, go. Whoa, look at the speed. Look at the speed. Oh! There's more Thomases coming through in the background, but they've just crashed and burned there, okay? They've all crashed and burned. And thank you for that. I didn't expect that at all. To finish this video off, the last question we're going to have here, and it's one for the audience. Let's see who's watched this video. If you'd like Mattel to redo this toy with the clip connectors as in Thomas Adventures, please just leave a comment next to my top comment on this video, because who knows, Mattel may rethink doing this toy and making it look totally awesome if we get rid of that dumb magnet.
Dad, can we do one more?
One more. Okay, this is the last thing we're going to see in the video. Just wait for me to get in the position. Oh my goodness me. Okay, go. It's going to be a train wreck. rest of them coming. Oh, here they come, and yeah. Okay, that was very messy.